As of now, everyone knows that rapper Lil Dame lost his best friend and fellow rapper Lil Scoopy. He took to Instagram to let everyone know that Scoopy is missed and also addressed the trolls. When you lose a friend, especially somebody you built a real bond with over time, it's not just the physical absence that hurts. It's the routines, the conversations, the inside jokes, the shared experiences, and the future plans that instantly become memories overnight. For someone like Lil Dame, the passing of Lil Scoopy isn't just another headline or street statistic. It's a deep emotional fracture, because that was somebody he laughed with, struggled with, and navigated life alongside. So when gun violence takes a person that close to you, the first emotion that naturally creeps in is pain. And right behind that pain is anger. And right behind that anger is the desire for revenge. But that's exactly where the real test of discipline begins, because reacting off emotion in a permanent situation can lead to temporary decisions that create permanent consequences. The streets often glorify the idea of get back, but what they don't highlight is the domino effect that comes behind one emotional decision. More funerals, more mothers crying, more friends lost, and more lives wasted behind a cycle that never truly ends. At the same time, this situation forces an uncomfortable but necessary reflection on the law of energy and accountability, because whether people want to admit it or not, the energy you put out into the universe has a way of circling back around. And Lil Scoopy had moments where he was trolling and being disrespectful toward individuals who had already passed away, speaking on the dead in a manner that might have seemed entertaining in the moment, but ultimately contributed to a negative frequency that followed him, reminding us that clout, laughs, and viral moments can come at a spiritual and real-world cost. Now Lil Dame is left dealing with grief, frustration, and the internal battle between loyalty and logic. But crashing out behind a loved one's death only guarantees that you join them in a cell or a casket, which doesn't bring justice, peace, or closure. It just extends the suffering to another family. The real lesson here is understanding that self-control is strength, emotional intelligence is survival, and sometimes the most gangster thing you can do in a moment of loss is think strategically instead of react impulsively, because healing, growth, and breaking the cycle of retaliation is how you truly honor the bond that you built with someone over time, rather than adding another chapter to a story that ends the same way every time. For platforms like In Your Business TV that highlight not just the culture, but the consequences within it, this becomes a critical narrative about accountability, awareness, and choosing longevity over momentary emotional satisfaction. The most practical solution in a situation like this, especially for someone in Lil Dame's position, is learning how to separate grief from decision-making, because pain has a way of convincing you that retaliation is the only form of loyalty, when in reality, it's often the fastest route to self-destruction. Losing Lil Scoopy to gun violence is already a life-altering trauma, but allowing that hurt to turn into revenge only continues the same cycle that took him in the first place. And now, instead of one life being lost, you risk multiple incarcerations or more funerals behind an emotionally driven response. This is where discipline, mentorship, and strong guidance from trusted family or community members becomes essential. People who can help process that anger in a constructive way instead of letting it fester into impulsive action. Another major solution is accountability within the culture itself. Understanding that trolling the dead or disrespecting people publicly for entertainment creates unnecessary enemies and negative energy that can escalate into real-world consequences. Moving forward, artists and individuals alike have to be more mindful of what they put into the universe, because social media clout isn't worth irreversible outcomes.